This man, Otto Addo, is genuinely one of the best leaders I've seen coach Ghana Black Stars. We shouldn't talk about good people only when their results are good, or slam bad people only when their results are bad. I think that is a bit of dishonesty. If with the way he is handling everything, the substitutions, the changes, every choice he is making has led to wins or leads to Ghana winning the World Cup, for instance. You now hear everybody talking about how he was a great leader, how he did this decision, made that decision. I don't think in that manner, because I believe that great leadership qualities are great leadership qualities, even if they are not yielding the results yet. And I also believe it takes a very keen eye to see gold, even when it is in the raw state. Otto Addo's leadership is not only remarkable, it has so many lessons that we can all pick to be great leaders in our various fields of endeavor. So number one, making bold decisions. Otto Addo is the kind of leader who makes bold decisions, goes directly for what he believes is in line with the plan and the dream that he has for his team. He does this regardless of how controversial it may seem to the masses. When he came for the second time, one of the first things he did was speak with some of the senior players in the Ghana national team. And he told them point blank that, look, I'm moving on from you guys. Thank you for your service to the country, but we need a new crop of players. We need to build a new generation. It was a bold yet controversial decision, yet he made it. One of the topical ones was the captain of the team himself, Dede Ayew. Months down the line, he appointed Mohamed Kudus, just a young man, as the new captain of his team because it was in line with the vision he believed he had for the team. Mind you, many people thought there were other players who were better suited for that role because of how long they had served in the national team, even more than Mohamed Kudus himself. But he was bold enough to make that decision. Another one was that in the last two games of the AFCON qualifiers, Otto Addo changed his first choice goalkeeper to another person, Manaf Nuruddin. He was not hurt, to anybody's knowledge. It was a bold decision Otto Addo made because he believed that Manaf Nuruddin was better suited for the role in that moment. Now, of course, I'm not saying that all the decisions he made were right. Get me well. What I'm saying is that they were bold, and making such bold decisions, even when they are very controversial, is a great attribute of a leader. You have to be able to stand firm and say that this is what will help me the most, even when most people may not think so. A lot of leaders tend to do or say things that will avoid criticism, that will please the masses. And that is the wrong approach. That is what I am saying. Now, what can we learn from this? I'm sure you already know. Whenever you find yourself in a position of leadership, you have to learn to make bold decisions. Decisions that are based on genuineness of heart and in line with the kind of vision you want for your team. And you have to make these decisions even when they are controversial. The truth is, when you get it wrong, everyone will attack you. But that does not mean you should not make these bold decisions. To just give you an example, Otto Addo has been slammed many times for some of the bold decisions he made, like making Kudus the captain or letting Dede Ayew go at a time that many people thought he still had a lot to offer the team. But many people also forget that when he chose Manaf Nuruddin to be the goalkeeper, they were very happy about it. It was one thing that received a lot of positive feedback, but the coach was not given credit for it. Many people have even started advocating that Manaf Nuruddin will be our first choice goalkeeper forever until probably he retires. But that is the result of a coach's bold decision. And that is what you need to do when you are a leader. As William Faulkner, a Nobel Prize winning author, once said, you cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. What this means is that it is only by having the courage to make these bold decisions that you can actually have a chance at revolutionizing your team and pushing them to reach new heights. The truth is, sometimes they might backfire. That's how life can be. But still, you have to make these decisions if you are truly a leader who wants great change and progress for your team. By the way, if you're watching us for the first time, this is Eqay Inspire YouTube channel, and on this channel, what we do is extract crucial life lessons from important life stories. We're also passionate about Africa, which is why we host Thrive in Africa podcast, where we speak to people who are making it in Africa and ask them how they're able to do it so that we can extract lessons that anybody can also apply to thrive in Africa, because we believe that it's only by thriving in Africa that we can have a thriving Africa. So kindly hit the subscribe button below, turn on the notification bell so that whenever we post a new video, you'll get notified. One of the videos we shot recently was a special on the NSMQ, the National Science and Maths Quiz, and why we believe that is one of the biggest, best things that has ever happened to Ghana education. And we broke this down to destroy the notion that it was not good enough or it was irrelevant. You can click somewhere around the video right now for the pop-up and watch that video for yourself. Back to the video. The second attribute of Otto Addo that makes him an exceptional leader is he admits his mistakes and corrects them. Otto Addo, the coach of the men's senior national football team of Ghana, is quick to admit when he is wrong and he is quick to correct them. He was at a point criticized for making substitutions too late in matches, and in the very next match, he made sure that the substitutions came much earlier. And this was because he did an introspection and realized that yes, the critics might be right. So he took it as a constructive criticism. When he realized that the choice of Mohamed Kudus as the captain of the national team was premature, he went back to change it. Trust me, many leaders in his shoes would have, out of pride, decided to just continue like that. And that is because most leaders develop arrogance and pride so much that they don't have an ear for any kind of criticism. So when you have a leader who is willing to listen and take action to shamelessly correct his mistakes or reverse their actions when they are wrong, it is a great blessing and you should not take it for granted. Now, what can we learn from this? Whenever life puts you in a leadership position, either as an older sibling, a father, a mother, a manager at the office, or what have you, don't get so carried away by your aspirations, your goals, your boldness, and your confidence that you fail to take constructive criticism. As resolved as you may be to make bold decisions that you firmly believe are in the best interest of your team, keep an ear down and listen for possible constructive criticism that can help you advance your team even better. Now, take note that this is different from being swayed by the masses or by all kinds of opinions. It is knowing that although you may be the leader with probably even the best expertise, all the knowledge in the world does not reside in your brain. It is knowing that even a layman can offer some great advice that can help you and your team if you just have the ear to listen. As John C. Maxwell, a leadership expert and author, once said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. But great leaders also listen to those who walk the way with them. Now let's go to number 3, the third attribute about Otto Addo and why he is such an exceptional leader, and that is respect for subordinates. From the very day that Otto Addo became the Black Stars coach, he has constantly displayed absolute respect for his subordinates who are the players. When he took over the first time, he went personally to meet many of the players he wanted to convince to play for Ghana and speak with them. This was ahead of the World Cup, and this was the reason why Ghana began to look like a world-class team, because all of a sudden we had the likes of Tariq Lamptey, Iñaki Williams, Mohamed Salisu, Dennis Odoi, Antoine Semenyo, and the like. But that is not all. When he decided that he was going to leave out Andre Dede Ayew, the captain of the Black Stars, from his matches, Otto Addo drove about 6 hours to go and meet Dede Ayew in person. He didn't call, he didn't send an email, he didn't send a message. He went there himself to speak with Dede Ayew face to face. It was an act of absolute respect that won my respect. Again, when it was reported that Otto Addo had a fallout with Jordan Ayew, Dede Ayew's brother, it was also reported that he spoke to Jordan personally, apologized to him, and thrashed out all their differences. This is a mark of a great leader. You don't see many leaders doing this these days. Now, what can we learn from this? Whenever you find yourself in a leadership position, you must learn to respect your subordinates just as you expect them to respect you. In everything you do, you must remember that they are human beings first. And what that means is that they are people who need and deserve to be understood. They need to feel that their concerns matter, and they must genuinely feel that they are treated with respect and dignity that they deserve. You must do this even if you are taking any action that is against their interest. This is the only way you can retain trust and respect as a leader, even in the most difficult circumstances. As John Wooden, a legendary basketball coach, once said, legendary basketball coach once said, treat all people with dignity and respect, and they will value you as a leader. Mahatma Gandhi of India also once said, you may never know what results come of your actions, but if you have no respect for others, you can achieve nothing. Let's move on to number 4. Having a never give up attitude. Otto Addo, the amazing Ghanaian coach that is unfortunately embattled, has an uncanny understanding of life and success that he has been trying to convey to Ghanaians, but we've been too carried away by the losses and the pain in our hearts that we don't get the message. Otto Addo constantly talks about how life is not linear. He talks about how success is a bumpy road with ups and downs. You can go down at a certain period in your life even though you are doing things right, and you can come up just like that. So what is key is not letting your successes get into your head or your failures get into your heart. He has constantly been saying this, and this is a remarkable philosophy and mindset that anyone should have, but especially the coach of a football team that is struggling. And by the way, it was struggling for years before he came onto the scene. So it is absolutely great that he has this belief, which he can use to carry the team from its lowest moments into higher heights. Now, what can we learn from this? The road to success has many ups and downs. Now, I want you to actually imbibe that, all right? The road to success has many ups and downs. What that means is that the fact that yesterday's results that you produced seem to be better than today's results doesn't necessarily mean that you've fallen off track. You may perfectly be well on your way to success, just that some of these potholes are also part of the experience that life wants to equip you with for the journey that you are embarking on. So don't be dismayed when such moments come in your life. Always keep moving through the storms, and you will surely get there. Your destination, you will get there. As Nelson Mandela of South Africa once said, don't judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and came back up again. This man understands life and success. Winston Churchill of the UK also once said, success is not final, failure is not fatal, but it is the courage to continue that counts. So when Otto Addo said that he doesn't have the mindset of resignation, because if he had that, he would have probably not made it as high as he got in his footballing career. He would not have even become a coach in the first place because of the many challenges he faced, and he would not have started coaching. When he was saying these things, he was trying to convey a message, but we were too angry, we didn't listen. But this is the point. But before I leave, let me address 2 questions that I know may be lingering somewhere in your mind. So the first one is that, what is the use of all these good qualities? What's the use? What is the use of all these good qualities, all these brilliant qualities of a leader, if at the end of the day you don't produce the desired results? Now, my answer to that is that, yes, I agree that the results actually matter. In fact, I endorse the notion that the end justifies the means. But the truth is, we seem to have forgotten about all these great qualities of Otto Addo. These are the mistakes we make, and when the person goes to a different country and they start excelling, then we start questioning ourselves and now having introspection and thinking that probably he was not that bad after all. Now, secondly, I also think it's very important that we don't forget about all these great things because of the bad things that are happening, because it might be an indication that Otto Addo is not a problem, that we are focusing on the wrong problem. And do you know what happens when you focus on the wrong problem? You miss the real problem. Now, the second question that may be lingering in your mind is that, what about his coaching skills? Yes, he may be such a great leader as you say, but probably he's just not skilled or talented as a coach to be able to get the results that we want. And my answer to this is, genuinely, Otto Addo has not been a coach at several places that we can use to judge him by. But here's what I know. The coach that led Cote d'Ivoire to win the AFCON in February 2024 had never been a coach before. In fact, his team was struggling at the AFCON, and his senior coach, that is, he was serving as the assistant coach to another coach, and the team was performing badly, and that coach was let go during the tournament. The only person they could fall on was this novice who had never coached a team before, but he took a struggling team mid-tournament and turned them into a winning team, so much so that they lifted the trophy. Now, how bad do you want to be as a coach, such that your actions alone, despite all these great leadership qualities, your coaching decisions alone will destroy a team to this level? So once again, I am pretty sure that it is not his coaching abilities. I am tempted to think that the problem might be different from Otto Addo. And why? Because he's not the only one who came and couldn't produce good results for Ghana. We have had Kwesi Appiah, who we let go because we thought he was not up to the standard we wanted. And clearly what he's doing with Sudan shows that he was probably even much better than what we thought. We had CK Akuno, who was a coach with some impressive credentials, who also produced bad results. We had Milovan Raeva, who also came, having led Ghana to 2010 almost semi-finals at the World Cup, came back and couldn't do anything. And we had Chris Hughton, who many of us had a lot of faith in, but who could also not produce a lot of results. And consistently, it has been on a decline. And unfortunately for Otto Addo, he came to meet the slope when it was touching the floor. So clearly, if we say that he is the problem, then I beg to differ. And as I said earlier, once we start focusing on the wrong problem, then the real problem has been missed. It's like this. Say somebody took the life of your loved one and a person was arrested and put behind bars and was charged with a crime, and it turns out that that person did not commit the crime. You can't just sit back and be satisfied that justice has been served, because the real criminal is still out there. The person who was arrested did not commit the crime, and so you are probably still under threat because that guy might come for another loved one in your family again. Now, before I wrap up, I have a constructive criticism for Otto Addo. Otto Addo, I pray you watch this video. And this is what I have to say. You are great. I admire you, I respect you, and I salute your leadership qualities. They've been inspiring. But I want to tell you that you have to be delusional a little bit. Don't face reality too much. The truth is, there's nothing like reality anyway. We define what is reality to us, but that's a different video. Now, Otto Addo, I remember you were asked at the Qatar 2022 World Cup, while the competition was going on, who you think would win the World Cup. You said Germany looked like they were in a good position to win. When Ghana was there, we had not gone out yet. In fact, we had just finished winning against South Korea and were in high spirits. You later realized that the question was actually asking, who do you think would top the group? And you said, well, Portugal. When we were in the group, Otto Addo, as I said, yeah, maybe you were trying to be realistic, but as a leader, as a coach, you need to be positively delusional about the chances of your team. Those answers you gave were wrong, and a part of me believes that they were part of the reasons, maybe not the answers per se, but that mindset was part of the reasons why our third match against Uruguay was very bad, because you seem to have had so much respect for them that you felt that they deserved to win. It is only by being positively delusional, not too much. Okay, I'm not asking for too much, but that is the only way you can really boost confidence in your camp and inspire your team to excel even against people that may be considered superior to you. So when you go into every match, you have to convince yourself and the players that it is a match they can win and they should win. It doesn't matter if it is Brazil on the other side or Portugal or whatever, or Argentina. Did you see how Heavy Renard came to the World Cup in 2022 with Saudi Arabia and beat Argentina 2-1? I bet if you were the one leading Saudi Arabia, you'd have told them that, oh, it was a lost match because Argentina was miles ahead of them. Respectfully, that is not what you should do. You have to make them believe, make them delusional that they can beat Argentina even when they are Saudi Arabia, because it is possible. It is a 90 minutes thing, and it is a game of just passes strategy, passion, intensity, and result. You can outwit somebody within that 90 minutes, even if they seem to be ahead of you. It is possible, and we've seen it so many times. So please, I want you to adopt this mentality. I've heard you say that only a few category of coaches are able to produce results so consistently, like with a high winning rate like 95%. The likes of Pep Guardiola, Carlos Ancelotti, and the rest. But Otto Addo, why can't you be like them? There's nothing that is stopping you from being like them. So don't place those category of coaches above your level. Please aspire to be like them too and work towards it. It is possible, and you can do it with any team. You don't have to have the likes of Messi and Ronaldo before you can achieve that. Anyway, I rest my case there. Thank you for watching this video, and until I see you again in our next video, which is already being prepared, please remember that life always gives us episodes of chaos and peace. But after each episode, you should pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this?